level, I'ma give you what you need. You don't gotta worry, I'ma put you on the ease. Yeah, you know I don't be messing with that drama. Yeah, you pretty cause you get it from your mama. And you know that I'll be coming by like karma. We do it different cause you know I'm with the shot.
Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, feel free to join the fun squad by hitting the subscription button, and let's have fun together. This is such a mouthful of an intro. I feel like I spend a whole minute just reciting this intro. Anyways, that's not the purpose of this video. As you can tell from the title, we are making a year in Canada. Yeah, we have literally made a year. Wow, time does fly, because honestly I do not feel like a year has passed. It just feels like a few months. It literally doesn't. Okay, no, a year is like just 12 months, but it feels like I've been here for maybe 4 months or 3. Like, time really does fly. Yeah, time does fly. I left Uganda on the 18th of August 2023 and arrived here on the 19th of August 2023. And if all goes well, you definitely be getting this video on the 18th of August 2024, which is exactly a year since I left Uganda. Damn. Yeah, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be talking about just giving you an update of what my year here has been like and what you could expect if you are planning to also have like the kind of transition that I had. Not saying that you would exactly have my same experience, but at least you have an insight of what it's like to be here for a full year. And definitely I have to give credit where credit is due. I got this video idea from a YouTuber that I watch, that is Rachel Nalumo. She does create content around moving back to Africa. She moved from Canada to Uganda, and so she usually gives like updates on her years in Uganda. So yeah, Rachel Nalumo, these are your flowers. I definitely got the idea from your channel. Yeah, I just want to make this video as laid back and chill as, you know, I can, hence the setup. Like, it's just a random evening and I chose to do this. The lighting may not be the best because I'm literally depending on natural light, which is going down because it is 1941, literally 7:41 p.m. so if the lighting is bad, you will forgive me because I don't intend to reshoot this video. No, thank you. Anyways, just to have a little background of what I've been doing here in this 1 year. I have been a student at the University of Ottawa. I was doing my master's in law, and yeah, that is sort of like a preamble, I guess, of what I've been doing here, just before I get into the real experiences. So for me to have a structured video, I did divide this video into categories. I'm going to be talking about my journey in terms of like my mind, body, soul, finances, and then the social life. Yeah, just to have kind of like a structured video. But if I go off board, if I end up mixing things, because I feel like some of these things like feed into each other or they intertwine somehow, so if I do that, just pardon me in advance. Yeah, so I'm going to just be beginning with my mind. Honestly, I think in this 1 year I have taken my mental health more seriously than I usually did, yeah, in the past years, because I felt like I had so many I think I was more aware of my mental health in this 1 year. I've been more aware of my mental health in this 1 year than I've ever been. So I was so cautious in terms of knowing what my triggers are, in terms of knowing how to deal with them, but also in the sense that I had to change environment. Like, just moving from your country or your hometown to a different place is hard enough, honestly. Knowing that you're not going to be with your family, you're not going to be with your friends, and for me, who is like glued with my family like this was like a huge change for me, because I am so big on family. Like, if you know me in person, you definitely know, like, me and my family are like G's. So the fact that I was going to be away from them for a long time definitely had like an effect on me, and I was aware of that. So I had to find like a mechanism for me to cope. And for me, what has been helpful has been social media, like in terms of being able to call them every single day. Like, when I tell you I talk to them every single day, I'm not even kidding. Sometimes more than once a day, sometimes even more than 3 hours on a call. guys, I'm just guilty. But yeah, like I had to find a way of filling up that gap of knowing that this is going to be like the first time I'm away from them for that long. So I had to like bridge that gap through things that I was able to do. Social media has helped. Like, if there is a time I have been grateful for social media, it's been this time. And it kept me wondering, like, people who relocated like in the old days, before like social media, before even phones were there, how were they able to communicate to their families? Because what do you mean a whole year you've not spoken to your people? Like, the whole concept of having to write a letter and then wait for months for them to respond, and then anyways, for me, mind-wise, that is what has been a very big shift for me, knowing that I'm not close to my family or my friends, but I'm grateful for social media for bridging that gap. And then also the difference in weather, guys, that was also huge. For context, I come from Uganda, yeah, and it's like a tropical country, and then so we usually have like only dry season and wet season. Literally, those are our seasons. They are just dry and wet. It's either raining or sunny, and even when it's raining, it's not like that very cold. Like, if it even gets to 18 degrees in Kampala, that is the capital city of Uganda, people are like freezing and saying, oh my goodness, it's so cold. Like, you're pulling out your sweaters, you're pulling out your jackets, you're pulling out, you know, everything to cover yourself, because 18 degrees is like such a huge deal. Like, you are freezing. And now imagine moving from a place where 18 degrees is such a huge deal, like in terms of freezing, to a place where you're hitting negative 18. Negative 18. Guys, when I tell you I was suffering in the winter, I was suffering in the winter. But like, I did actually notice, like, of course the body adjusted, which I am grateful for. Like, I am glad I came in the summer-ish, yeah, because it was still like summer, leaning towards fall. So somehow the body got the chance to adjust accordingly. So it wasn't like a huge shift of like from the hot or from the high temperatures to the low temperatures. So it wasn't like I'm coming from 26 degrees to negative 18, no, which I think happens to people who come here in January, February, around those months. So for me, because I came in August, it was like, okay, like slowly, because I remember in August when I came, there are days when we hit 30s, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so hot. Like, yeah, of course that is very hot. Even for me who is from Uganda, I don't think we hit 30s in Uganda, except if you're from like northern Uganda, which I am not from. So yeah, I feel like my body got the chance to adjust accordingly. So it was like from hot, and then the fall, which is like mild, like it's not so cold but it's also not so hot, and then now we went to the winter. So my body had like the chance to adjust accordingly. But even then, that adjustment did not help that much, because I still was freezing in the winter. Like, I feel like I used to hear those things of like, oh, seasonal depression, and I'm like, me, Ugandan, African, that will not affect me. Friends, I was affected, like, and I didn't even notice when it was in the winter. Like, if you ask me the winter whether I was experiencing seasonal depression, I'll definitely roll eyes and tell you no, that doesn't apply to me. But like, when the sun came out, like when we're approaching spring and the sun came out, the change in mood is what made me realize that I was actually experiencing seasonal depression, but I just didn't know. And I know, like, most times we're thinking of the extremes of depression, but seasonal depression can be like just not being interested in the things that usually interest you, or a change in mood, or just not wanting to do anything at all. Those could be signs of seasonal depression. And so, because for us we're always thinking of like the extreme end of depression once, and it's not like everyone will hit the extreme end. You could be in the mild-ish. So once you don't hit the extreme end, you're quick to say, no, I did not experience seasonal depression. But I definitely now know that I did experience seasonal depression because of just how different the weather was. So mind-wise, I have been very, very alert to what could affect my mental health, and I've been very quick to get solutions, or at least to get coping mechanisms that would help. Yeah, also I've just noticed that in this place, like, okay, there is like a little shift in Uganda towards embracing therapy, but I think here it's more. I haven't yet like looked into it, but I definitely see the culture of therapy is more embraced here than it is in Uganda. So yeah, I think that is it. Like for mine, if I keep looking at my phone, it's because I had to write them down because I wanted it to be like more structured as opposed to just skipping and having a random video. Oh yeah, so in terms of mine also, I had to adjust to like the new academic system. Like I said, I've been here as a student, and definitely the academic system here is different from the one of Uganda in terms of at least for me, in terms of the approach. So for context, at least the education I received in Uganda was leaning towards cram for the papers, paste on paper, and that's it. Like the grades mattered more than the content that you've actually got or the knowledge that you have acquired. Whereas here, yes, the grades are very important, but I think the knowledge that you have acquired tends to be more important than the grades that you're getting, in terms of even the way they teach. Like it's not like, yeah, there is like a very correct answer and a very wrong answer. As long as you defend your answer, you could all be right, which is different from you. Like in Uganda, there is a correct and a wrong answer, period. Yeah, like if you have any other opinion, that is on you. If it's not the opinion of the professor, or at least a textbook opinion, you are wrong. So yeah, I just liked how we had like a more interactive class environment as opposed to the professor coming and lecturing. So it was more like, yeah, you have these readings, read, and then you come to class and share your opinions on the readings, as opposed to the professor is going to come and teach you A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, so if you're saying the answer is F when you're writing your paper, it should be F. Whereas here, most of my papers were actually writing about a topic that you're interested in. But also that could be because of the level of education, honestly, because in Uganda, as I did my entire education system, like in terms of nursery, primary, O-level, A-level, and then my bachelor's and my bar course at LDC, whereas here I was doing my master's. So maybe the master's in Uganda is the same, could be the same as the master's here. So I think maybe it could be the level of education, or maybe I'm right and it's just it. Like in Uganda, it's more of like cram work and paste what the professor told you, as opposed to understanding and coming up with your own opinions and writing your original papers that have your opinion. Yeah, because when you look at even the papers we're doing at undergrad or LDC, it would be like a question, and then if your approach is different from what you were taught in class, you're most likely failing that paper. Whereas here, the papers we're writing were more like choose your own topic and write about it, and you know, come up with your original thoughts about it and analysis about it. Yeah, at least that's been my experience in terms of the academic approach. And then I also had to adapt like to new cultures, and for me, of course, the culture here, I didn't expect it to be the same. At least I came knowing it's definitely a different country. I expect to have different cultures and all those things. So for me, I came with an open mind, and that has helped me also to be very open-minded, even more than I did when I was coming, like to be open-minded to different cultures and embrace whatever a person's belief is, as opposed to coming with a closed mind of like, yeah, what I believe is the right one. No, like that's not the case. So yeah, in terms of mind, that's how different it's been for me in this 1 year. So time to go to the next category, which is body. Wow, like in terms of body, one of the things that I appreciate about this place is the fact that it is such an active society. Like in terms of, you're going to find people taking walks, you're going to find people going to the gym, you're going to find people trying so much like to live a healthy life, as opposed to the way it is in Uganda. Like as a matter of fact, when I was in Uganda, I must have stepped in the gym only twice in my life. In my 25 years in Uganda, I stepped in the gym twice, and that could honestly be on me. I can't say it's because maybe I can't say I was stopped by anyone in Uganda, but it's just that the gym, it's not a culture in Uganda, like to find people talking about the gym and all those things. Well, it's starting to be a little bit, like in terms of people taking their wellness very seriously. But I think here it's more also because maybe the environment is conducive. Like here you could take a walk and you know the paths are clear for pedestrians, whereas in Uganda, you'll be fighting with the cars, you'll be fighting with the border guys on the streets. Like there's so much happening on the streets of Kampala that even the thought of taking a walk, you need to contemplate like for a whole week. If your walk is on Saturday, you need to think about it from Monday and be like, oh my goodness, on Saturday I want to take a walk, but like how will I manage? Like first of all, you're thinking someone could snatch my bag, someone could snatch my phone, someone, like there's so many things that could go wrong honestly as you're taking that walk. But yeah, I feel like like there are paths for pedestrians, so many people are taking walks, there's so many gyms. Like literally in my building there's a gym. I think the gym culture is I appreciate that about this place. So I have been able to go to the gym in this 1 year. I've been able to take walks with my daily goal of 10k steps. I've not been able to like walk 10k steps every single day, but like that's a goal I set for myself. Sometimes I achieve it, sometimes I do not, but yeah, it's all good. So in terms of body, I have definitely been more active here in this 1 year than I was in the 25 years I spent in Uganda, which is I think a good thing. And I can feel it in the way that my body is responding. Like I've been more cautious about the things I eat, trying to live a more healthy life, or trying to live a healthier life, which I honestly think it should have been easier in Uganda, like in terms of eating organic foods and all those things, because obviously organic food is more available in Uganda than it is here. But I feel like I have been more cautious about my eating right here, like in this 1 year, than I was in the 25 years that I was in Uganda. So for body, that has been a very great change for me. So the next category is soul. And for me, one of my biggest worry when I was coming was whether I would be able to find a church or a community that I belong to, because I felt like in Uganda it was a little bit easier for me to find a church that I belong to. Well, that's the church we've been attending like since I was a child, so I can't say I had any problem with it. Like I was having to attend sale, at least I knew I belonged to a community that resonated with my beliefs. And that was my biggest worry, because I was just like, oh my goodness, like so will I be able to get like a church community? Will I be able to find a church that I'll fellowship at? But I'm glad to report this feels like an annual report. Anyway, this was like an annual general meeting with my fan squad. But yeah, I am glad to report that in the 1 year I was able to find a church that I belong to, and that is the Bethel Church, which is actually the slogan of the church is that you belong, which is very cool because I feel like I do belong there. And yeah, and I am glad that it's similar to the one I was attending back home. So back home I go to Watoto Church, and it's quite similar here, and I was so happy. I was so happy when I found a community that, you know, believes in Christ, that we are able to fellowship, able to attend church. And yeah, honestly, for soul, I have nothing much to say. I'm just grateful that I was able to find a church, because I've been watching like different videos of people who migrate, and one of the biggest challenges they face is finding a church that they feel like, you know, they belong to. And for me to be able to find one in this 1 year has been a blessing for me. So I am just so happy about that, and yeah, I am very grateful for that. Woo! The elephant in the room! The elephant in the room! Finances! Hey! I need to sip some. I need to sip some water for this. Let me even face you properly. Finances. First of all, moving here as an international student is not cheap at all. It's not cheap at all, like in terms of the tuition, in terms of accommodation. Yeah, okay, I could go on and on about how not cheap it is. I'm blaming it honestly on anyone. I am just grateful that I was in a position where my parents can afford to pay my tuition and my accommodation and everything that I needed. I am just super grateful for that, and I do acknowledge that it's such a privilege, honestly, which I am very grateful for. But why don't we have financial literacy in Uganda, like in school? Why don't we have like a course unit of like financial literacy instead of studying the koi, the Khoisan, the immigration, the mau, the maji, the... If you've not done the education system, you definitely do not know what I'm talking about. It's just it's just some of the useless things we have in the education system, in my opinion. Because why do we study that? What have the Khoisan done for me? What has the maji done for me? Nothing. We should have had a class just for financial literacy, honestly, because I can see how I could cry. But like, just to sum it up, in the first few months, I made terrible financial decisions that I look at right now and I'm like, if I just turned the clock, I would make better decisions. But also I'm glad that I made that bad decisions. Honestly, I've been able to learn from my mistakes, and I now trust, and now I have my finances in check, and you know, I am trying to be mindful be very cutesy with my finances and be very demure with my finances, because guys, me, I was just spending like a billionaire's kid. Guys, but also I feel like, so what happened in my case is that I had watched so many videos where they talk about do not convert the money into your home currency because you will not spend, and I was like, okay, when I reached, I will not convert money into Ugandan shillings because I will not spend. So what it did, it just did the reverse. It sort of like did an Uno card on me, because so I wasn't converting, but also in my mind, so the Ugandan currency is such a huge currency, like not in terms of value, but like we have notes of like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, yeah, which if you said you have 50k here, hey, you're rich. So now, because the Ugandan currency is big, like in number, when I would see stuff of like, oh, it's $20, just 20, okay, cash, it's $100, just 100, okay, all right, that's little money, because I'm thinking in the Ugandan currency of like, oh, 100, you know, like if you said 100 shillings in Uganda, what can even 100 shillings buy for you in Uganda? Honestly, nothing. I don't even think there's even a candy for 100 shillings at this point. That's how much of the economy is if you're Ugandan, you've understood. It's just yeah, so for me, that's what it did for me. So I spent a lot on very useless things, honestly. If you ask me, there are things I purchased which, now that I think about, were just very useless, yeah. But now I'm very mindful, I'm very demure and I think before I purchase things, in terms of like, is it a necessity, is it something I need, is it something I want? If it's something I want, can it be, you know, can I plan for it as opposed to just spending? I might have the money right there, but if it's a one, did I budget for it that month, or is it something I should now budget for in the next month, or in the next week, or in the next days, and now work towards getting it? Guys, I don't even get financial class for free right here. But yeah, I just wish that we did have financial literacy classes when we were still younger, so that we do not make such mistakes in our older ages, because yeah, I feel old. Yes, I am old. So yeah, for finances, honestly, I am just grateful for my parents, yeah, for being able to pay my tuition, my rent, and all the things that I needed, yeah. And sort of look back and I'm like, I wish I didn't make those terrible financial decisions in my first month, but also there are lessons. So yeah, that is it on my finances, honestly. Have I mastered it? Not yet. I'm still learning, so yeah, but at least I'm not where I was a year ago. Yeah, I'm definitely in a better space right now. So lastly, the social life. Hey, I need more water for this one. Social life is in the ghetto. That's what I'm gonna say. But that's on me. That's really on me. Yeah, because honestly, okay, just making friends when you're an adult honestly is hard. It's very hard. I thought it would be very easy because like I'm in a school environment, but what that does is that you are friends with people like that are in your class, and then now once the semester is done, the class ends and you might never meet those people again, or people are busy, they're having like shifts and all those things, so your schedules don't even collide. Like when I'm free, maybe the person is not free, or when she is free, I am not free. And guys, it's hard making friends when you're an adult. It's really hard. And also the fact that now I prefer even being at my place. Also sometimes when you stay like in a shared accommodation, it sort of like makes the chances of you making friends a little bit higher, I think, because then you could easily be friends with your roommates. But now if you stay alone like I do, like I'm literally in my apartment alone, so if I'm not at work, if I'm not at school, I'm at my place alone. So where am I going to meet the people? Nowhere. It's not like I go to the club. It's not like, guys, me, I would rather be in my bed. So honestly, this is on me. This is really on me. So in terms of social life, I would give myself like an F. An F. I'm sure like you can even tell from my vlogs, because back home, you guys, if you've been here for long enough, I'm sure you know my friends like back in Uganda, even by name, because like I would vlog with them, like would go out, like would meet and would go like for trips. I'm saying trips like we went for 1,000 trips, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I'm sure you can even tell from the vlogs. I'm sure you only know like one friend. No, not only one, I think like two. Yeah, I think on this channel I've only featured like 2 of them. Well, they're not the only ones I know, guys. I'm not doing that badly. Actually, I don't give myself an F. I think I give myself like an E+. Yeah, but like it's been hard making friends honestly, because everyone is very busy. Everyone is chasing the bag that we forget about the social life. But I'm trying. Maybe in the next year I'll be very mindful about that and be very proactive in terms of like making friends. Maybe not, or but I think honestly I feel like making friends should come easily. Like it should just come as a natural process, as opposed to you going out of the way to make your friends. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like even the friends I have, honestly, it's not that I was out there saying, oh hi guys, like I want to be friends. No, like I feel like it just comes naturally. Yeah, because like with Marianne, like it was like we're introducing ourselves in class. She said she's from Kenya, I say like from Uganda, and then after some time like we started talking, and then we hung out one evening, and yeah, that was it. Yeah, but yeah, so that's been my social life, to say the least. So you can really grade me on all the different aspects and see where I'm lying. Yeah. But that's been my year. It's been a very amazing year. I have grown in all aspects of life, like mentally, physically, emotionally, like I've really grown physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything. I have grown more than I would have if I had stayed in Uganda for this 1 year. So I'm very grateful for that, and I am glad that in this 1 year I've been able to finish my academic journey. I have been able to, yeah, witness all the things that I've witnessed in this 1 year. I am grateful for you guys that continue to support me on this YouTube channel. Like, thank you so much. I definitely know that I have tried to document this 1 year in form of vlogs, and I am very grateful for that. Like I know I will look back and say, oh my goodness, like yeah, this is where I was at this particular time. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope that it has given you an insight of how my 1 year has been in this place, and I look forward to having an even more amazing year yeah, because the next year starts on 19th August, right? Yeah, so hopefully I'll come up with another update of like how my second year has been here. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video until this point. Don't forget to always be happy and spread positive vibes. Until next time, bye.
I'm out.